A mighty sign of spring has set sail for another thundering season at Niagara Falls.
The Maid of the Mist is back in business, and News 4's Ed Branch is live for you at the Falls tonight. I think you took the trip today, didn't you, Ed?
It was the coolest thing, Jackie, I have ever done. I took a tour of the Maid of the Mist today, touring the Niagara River. Finally, though, after months of not speaking to the media about losing that $30 million contract to a California-based company, CEO of the Maid of the Mist, Chris Glynn, finally spoke to the media. Here's what we learned today. He's hopeful that it'll stay in business. He's optimistic it'll stay in business, but he really offered no plans to keep the business functional. Taking to the wheel for the first time this season, first mate Mark Keith understands the enormity of his job on this, the opening day of the Maid of the Mist.
Oh, it's great. We look forward to it from about January on. We're all looking forward to get back to work and get back here to the warm weather, making the tourists smile.
Each season, about 1 million people ride the steamboat attraction, generating about $15 million for the company. But in the off-season, CEO Chris Glynn lost a major operational contract with the Canadians to California-based Hornblower, putting the future of the Maid of the Mist in jeopardy.
Well, we were obviously very disappointed. And I don't know what else to say beyond that.
In 2014, the Maid of the Mist will lose access to the docks and storage facilities on the Canadian side of the river. But to stay in business, Glynn has a plan to build the same docks downriver on the American side of the falls.
If the folks in New York want their independence from Canada and want a long-term solution that perhaps can afford them the kind of revenues that people have been reading about, then that's the solution.
He's proposing that plan to New York State lawmakers, but they've been less than supportive, saying it's unlikely docks or storage units will be built on the American side of the falls.
Realistically, it is our desire to operate through the end of our contract over there, and then we'll vacate the property.
Would you say that the future of the Maid of the Mist is still uncertain at this point?
I would say that it is uncertain as to how this will all play out.
But for now, first mate Mark Keith will continue sailing into what may become uncharted waters. Back here live at the Niagara River, it's those docks on the Canadian side that are still what Glynn is looking to build on the American side. It could be downriver toward one of the power plants on the north end of the Rainbow Bridge. Still uncertain, though, as to what the outcome of that will be when it comes to lawmaker decision. I did take a tour of the Niagara River, as we mentioned at the top of this story. You can see that by logging on to WIVB.com. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from some of those people on the boat. Reporting live in Niagara Falls, Ed Branch, News 4 at 5.